What's up, everybody? Welcome. Doing a little Friday night hangout. I was able to get out of work at a decent time and get home. So I'm just sending the link out to a couple people now. Who we got here? Say hello so I know who's here. Twitter group. So what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone had a good week. Jets win, so it's always a good week when our boys go out there and perform like they did on last Sunday. We're going to get that into a little bit. Braden, my man, what's up, buddy? How's everything down in New Zealand? I hope you are well. Hope your family is well. We are, sorry, I literally walked in the house like 15 minutes ago, ate real quick, got myself situated, set up the stream, sent it out to some of the cast of characters you guys are used to seeing. And excuse me, coming down with something. But yeah, it was a pretty good game last week. Listen, I know what people are saying. They're saying that we went up against a third string quarterback. The game plan wasn't for him. Okay. Now finish that. We didn't plan for him either. So we didn't know what he was going to bring to the table. We didn't know what he was going to do. So as much as you could say the Dolphins didn't plan for him, we didn't plan for him either defensively. You saw a lot of different things. You saw the Jets focus on taking away the speed of Waddle and Hill and not getting beat deep. They contained them really well. They didn't allow them to get beat. They didn't allow them to beat us over the top. We did a very good job. Yes, they were carving us up. Not carving us up, but they were getting consistent carries in the run game. But something you couldn't see on TV is that we were doing a lot of three safety settings where we had Parks in there too to make sure they couldn't go over the top and hit us with it, especially once we started pouring it on in the fourth quarter and the run got eliminated. You saw that they couldn't really do much with us. You saw that we kind of had the game in hand. Now, every single Jet fan, when the score got back to 19-7, I'm sure said the following: here we go again. But it's not here we go again. And I'll tell you why. Because this team is not the same old Jets. They're young. They're dumb. They don't know better, which is a blessing because you don't want to know the history of the Jets. You want to create your own history, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. 1917, feel like the walls are closing in. Every Jet fan's throwing their hands up, telling the wives to make plans. We're going to go out. The Jets are going to blow this. Wrong. What happens? What happened? 21-0 run in the fourth quarter to close the game to end up 40-17 victory. I'm going to repeat that. 21-0 run in the fourth quarter. Do you know that the Jets are the highest scoring team in the NFL in the fourth quarter this year? Do you know that the Jets defense has created 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter this year? Do you know that the Jets are number 1 in yardage in the fourth quarter this year? And Braden, and all of that summarized in one sentence: getting a divisional win. I said after the Pittsburgh game on the Buffalo Jet fans show in his post game, why can't we run October? Why can't we beat Miami at home? Why can't we go into Lambeau and win? They don't look good. Why can't we go into Denver and win? And why can't we close the month off with beating the Patriots at home? Why can't we run November? Why can't we be sitting at 7-2? I'm on record. You guys know this. You've seen me on my show and many other shows say if we can get 4 or 5 wins at the bye week, we are set up for a terrific run down the end. We might have more than that. We might have 4 come Sunday afternoon at 4:15. What's up, Knob? Thanks for joining, brother. Now they got to turn it up in the third quarter. Yeah, that's good. Actually, leading me right into my next point. They're going to smear Denver. Yeah. Let's we'll go back to this comment. You're seeing a young team learn how to play. They came from behind in Cleveland. They came from behind in Pittsburgh. They had the lead for the first time, beginning to end, against Miami since, I think, 2016. There's like 80-something games that they played first score, last score, had the lead the entire game. So you're seeing new things. You're seeing a team, like Nob here says, they haven't put 4 quarters together yet. Even the Miami game, scoring 40 points, and they didn't do a goddamn thing in the third quarter. That's scary. That is scary. I'm sure you all saw the hype video this week that the Jets did. Sauce makes the play. Sauce! We all know Joe Douglas screaming. Joe Gardner. I hope Sauce names his first kid Joe for Joe Douglas drafting him. What's up, Mark? Welcome, brother. Yeah, you like coming from behind too. That's what she said. Yeah, I absolutely feel bad for other NFL teams once the Jets learn how to put 4 quarters of football together. You're seeing the complementary football. You're seeing us get the turnovers, and you're seeing us capitalize on putting points on the board with it. It's a new day for a Jet fan. You know, I'm listening to Rich Cimini. I know a lot of people don't like him. I love him. I think he's the best Jets writer. And I'm listening to his podcast the other day, and he says, this is my 83rd Flight Deck podcast, and it's the first I've ever done with the Jets having a winning record. Last time that they had one, in 2016, he hadn't started the show yet. So a lot of firsts are happening, or a lot of firsts in a long time are happening because we've drafted so well. And now you're starting to see the coaching figure out what the talent can do. You know, we said that early on. It's going to be a feeling out period. You know, last week, 14-21, 66% completion percentage for Zach Wilson, stayed within the game plan, didn't throw a passing touchdown, and the Jets still scored 40. People are complaining. I wish he had more yardage. Shut the fuck up. You sound stupid. Each week, there's a new blueprint on how to win the game. And you don't know that blueprint until you're in the game. This week was run the ball. This week was when you hit the pass and Breece gets tackled at the 1. Breece runs another one, tackled at the 1. Breece runs another one, tackled at the 1. I don't give a shit who scores. I don't care if we throw to McDermott in the corner of the end zone. I don't care if it's Berrios on an end around. You know what I care about? The Jets scored 40 points in an NFL game. It wasn't playing Madden. It was a real NFL game, and the Jets offense scored 40 points. When was the last time we could say that? Opening day with Sam Darnold at the Lions? Probably. You know the difference now? We have a good enough roster to keep doing that. That was an anomaly, that game. This could be the norm. Green Bay hasn't been able to stop the run. Why can't we go into Green Bay with Carter and Breece? And you know what? As dinged up as they are, our offensive line looked fucking awesome on Sunday. They looked like they were finally gelling. They were having cohesion. That it looks like they were finishing blocks. They knew where to be because this group hasn't really played together. And we all know that it takes time for the offensive line to gel. How scary is this team going to be when we're running the ball for 150 yards a game and then we're hitting the play action to Moore, to Wilson, and somebody that a lot of you wanted gone has been one of our best receivers, Corey Davis. You could say Corey has been. You take away the Garrett Wilson game in Cleveland, Corey's our most consistent wide receiver. He did it with Flacco. He's doing it with Zach. Pittsburgh drive, he was hitting. Zach was hitting Corey. It was the Corey Davis show in the fourth quarter, and it's good for him. Good for him. We have 3 wide receivers who can get open at any time, who the quarterbacks have faith in, that they can get the ball to and they can do something. We haven't had the Elijah Moore coming out party yet. I'm waiting for it. Could be this week. Could be a couple weeks from now. I don't care about statistics. You know what I care about? W's. Because when you have an entire team of playmakers, going back to what I said earlier, the Jets highlight video, Joe Douglas hangs up the phone, playmakers, baby. That's how you win in the NFL. Gardner's a playmaker. DJ Reed might be the best free agent signing in the entire football league. Find me a better one right now. Him and Sauce, that tandem is phenomenal. They're absolutely, what's up, Mess? Thanks for joining, brother. That tandem of Reed and Gardner could be the second coming of Revis and Cromartie. And we joked about it. We laughed about it. We threw that suggestion out about how good could they be. We looked at the stats of what DJ Reed's done in man coverage. We know what Sauce did in college. I'm going to tell you, I'm one of the most positive Jets fans there are. And I flat out said, it's going to take time. I didn't think it would be immediately. I'm on record with that. Guess what, folks? It's been immediately. It's been from day one. Reed and Gardner have been an elite tandem in this league. And I'm here for it. I'm also on record, as all of you know, I didn't want Gardner at 4. I wanted Thibodeau. 100% I wanted the edge rusher. I wanted Thibodeau. I'm okay with the Gardner pick because we got JJ. You guys saw the draft recap that I did. Once we had the tandem of JJ and Gardner, I was much happier with the Gardner pick because we did trade up and address the edge rusher. Something else that we spoke about. How fucking awesome has Carl Lawson been? Guess who's number 2 in the NFL in quarterback hits? It's not TJ Watt. He's injured. It's not superstar Myles Garrett. Nick Bosa, you're right. He's number 1. It's not Micah Parsons. Guess who it is? Carl Lawson with 14. Bosa's got 15. Lawson's got 14. Now you're starting to see the entire defense come together. When we had Revis and Cromartie and we had the Rex Ryan defense, we didn't have a great pass rush. The coverage on the back end covered for so long and so well. It allowed the D-line, guys like Calvin Pace, Sean Ellis, Brian Thomas, to get there. Now you're seeing complementary football within the defense. Plays that we man up, nobody's open. The coverage is getting better now that Quan Alexander's in. I think you're going to see Quincy in rundowns, and Green Bay is going to run a lot. Green Bay is going to run the ball a lot. You're going to see a lot of 3 linebacker sets. I think you put Reed and Gardner on islands, and you let the 7 guys in the middle in the box eat up the run game with Jones and Dillon. Because I got a wild stat for you. Coming off of a loss, the Green Bay Packers averaged 30 rushes a game. When they come off of a loss, they rely on the run game. As all-world as their quarterback is, they averaged 30 rush attempts a game coming off a loss under Matt LaFleur. So, might be a boring game. It might not be that exciting shootout that you expect when you hear the name Aaron Rodgers. We know the wide receiver situation isn't there. We saw the sloppiness on Sunday morning against the Giants, and the Giants came back. If you can take away the tight end and you can take away the quick passes that he's going to do, and we can get that pass rush to be effective, why can't we win? I know what Vegas is saying. I know that Vegas loves the Packers coming off of a loss, and they should. The Packers under Matt LaFleur, thanks to my buddies Chris and Dave on Chop Sports. I saw this earlier when I was listening in the car. The Packers are 10-0 against the spread after a loss. So all the money, 74% of the money right now, is on the Jets, which normally makes the spread come down. It started at 7. It usually makes it come down 6.5 or 7 when that much money is on one team. But Vegas is still like, you know what? This team is a wrecking ball coming off of a loss. It's moved up to 7.5. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in a good friend of mine and a friend of the show. And you guys know him. You love him. And then welcome in Adam Watt2K. What's up, buddy? Let me check. How you doing?
There you go. I'm doing great. How are you? Hey, that's a nice sign behind your head. Where'd you get that from?
Forgetful Fred left it.
Yeah, so I had to get a new one right back there.
I will get this one down to you.
It's working pretty well. I would have one on one side and one on the other side. It would sort of like keep the living room in balance, I guess. But you're encouraging everybody to gamble out there. Just what are we doing so far?
But it's interesting information that you get from the gamblers because they do a deeper dive into the tendencies, right? They're always trying to find an edge. So coming off of the loss, the Packers run the ball more than 30 times a game under Matt LaFleur following a loss. And following a loss, they're 10-0 against the spread. So
that is interesting.
That's why you saw the big spread because the numbers under LaFleur with Rodgers. But I think this is not the same team they've had the last couple of years.
This
is not the team that went 13-3 or 13-4 3 straight years. LaFleur had 39 wins in 3 years. That's insane.
My goodness. No. Hey, mess. Yeah, and last week, the Packers threw the ball 2/3 of the time against the Giants, and that was a game that they were winning the entire time until the Giants took it away from them. Yeah. So I really think that loss is on the coaches as much as it is anybody else. And I mean, coaches on both sides.
Thibodeau said? Did you see what a rookie said?
I think, remind me. He likes to shoot his mouth off. Yeah,
he did, but I love this quote. And I was talking earlier before you joined, and everyone knows how much I wanted Thibodeau, but I got to give the credit for Reed and Gardner tandem. It's been the best in the league. So, but he said, what we did to them? We took them down into the deep end. Not everybody wants to swim in the deep end, and you saw them; they drowned. Like you're a fucking rookie, bro. Calm the fuck down. Like Leonard Williams better grab you by the neck and bring you into the deep end and be like, "Yo, shut your mouth, rookie."
I was trying to. I did see like they had written the quote down, like SMY put up, and I said something about they can't swim. I'm like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
But I guess they only put part of the quote out, so I guess with the full context, that makes more sense. Hey, Marco.
So I was going over the Dolphin game, and how when it hit 19-7, every Jet fan went, "Here we go again." And you said to your wife, "Make plans, hon. Let's go out. Jets are going to blow this." But this is not the same old Jets. These guys are young and dumb, and it's a blessing so far because they don't know they're not supposed to come back in Pittsburgh and win. They don't know the minute 55 left that they can't do the impossible. They just play ball, and I love it. And you know what? I love the chemistry of the team. I love Garrett Wilson putting up the shaving picture, and the top 10 comments are his teammates roasting him. Like, what are you shaving off?
You ain't got nothing to shave, bro. What you do?
But I just love the chemistry and the camaraderie that this team has. Like, this is what you see from other teams who go on to have great runs. You see the offense and the defense pulling for each other. You see them playing for the coach. You see the coach celebrating with them. You see a new day coming. And we've talked about it. And some of us said next year. Some of us said 2 years from now. It's happening. Give me your thoughts on that. I've talked out for 20 minutes. So you take the mic for a little bit, brother. All yours.
That's all it took, huh? Okay. I mean, going into the season, my realistic target was 7 wins. I felt if everything went right, they could get their way to 10. But
Yeah.
but
And you,
but my
me, Jeremy,
yeah,
we all agreed.
yeah.
Floor was 7. Best case scenario was 10. And we said we should live somewhere in there based on the talent that we have.
And you know what I wanted in December when Fox, CBS, whoever else, NBC showed those NFL playoff scenarios. You got your division winners, you got your wild card, you got your in the hunt. I just wanted to be in the hunt column going into, say, the next to last week of the season. That would be a huge amount of progress because that means you've realistically doubled your win total. Because you got to have like 8 wins to get to that point, 8, maybe 9. So if we were to get to that point with this many kids, with a second-year quarterback, a second-year head coach, that would have been saying a lot. And right now we're 3-2. And going into this, even before the season, people were talking about the first 4 games, the AFC North Gauntlet. I was not saying that. I was talking about the first 5. I said, guys, if we're going to have any kind of a season, if we're going to contend, we got to snap that division streak in the nuts right away. We got to beat Miami, and we got to be 3-2 after 5 games and send a message to the rest of the league. And you know what? That's exactly what we did. I don't care who the quarterback was. It's on us that the quarterback didn't even play. It's on Miami they didn't have their starter, and it's on us that they didn't have their backup. So you know what? If any Miami fan or media member who's upset about a third-string quarterback, look in the mirror because it's the Miami coaches and medical staff who you have to blame for that. And the Jets did what they had to do. They took advantage. That is so key because good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. When was the last time that we thought the Jets were that realm of a team? It's been a lot of years.
Yeah.
And, when it got to 1917, I'm not going to kid you. We were up 2 points. I was nervous. It was like the game
wasn't a Jet
dragging.
fan in the world. I was working today, and
No.
there's a house that I pass all the time, and they have a flag in the driveway that's half Giants, half Jets, and it says house divided. And I finally saw somebody, and then I said to the guy, I got to ask you, who's the Jet fan? He goes, and we talked for about a minute, and I said, like, did you go, here we go again, when it was 1917? He goes, word for word. Older guy, like in his 60s, he goes, word for word what I said to my wife. And he goes, they blew my mind.
And then they did exactly what they had to do. And I'll tell you what, I haven't had a chance to say this to you yet, but I said it on the post game with Jeremy and those guys and Tigo. One of the biggest turning points of the game was not the missed field goal by Jason Sanders. That was one of them, but it was what led to that. And that was Michael Carter's pass interference penalty. Because at that point, Miami's got the ball around their own 25-yard line. It's an incomplete pass. If that's the end of the drive, they got to punt the ball. And you got, what's his name? The really great punter that Westhoff loves, Thomas Morstead. Excellent punter. He's going to punt the ball 50 yards for sure.
Yeah.
He's going to flip the field. But that's not what happened. They call pass interference. Miami continues to drive down the field. They kick the field goal. It barely misses wide right. And from there on, the Jets took that game and they ran it down Miami's throat the rest of the way. It was the greatest pass interference the Jets ever took.
That was the knuckleball field goal. That was like the Tim Wakefield field goal because it started going and then just took off and like dropped off like it was a knuckleball.
It looked like a boomerang. It was the way it was spinning.
It looked like it was going a little bit towards the one goal post, and then it shot past the other goal post and missed. And I was like, oh, my God, we're going to win this game. I'm like, things like that happen to the Jets. They don't happen for the Jets. And listen, this league is so close year in and year out. And how many times have we pointed at a couple games and say, if this went our way, if this play goes our way? Baltimore, we did it. Home opener, we did it. We were talking about if this happens, if there's not that drop, if there's not that interference play. We had several what ifs. Now, guess what? We're dishing out the what ifs. We're so talented. We have so much growth yet to do as a team, but we're winning games. What did I say after the Cleveland game? You don't remember, but you'll remember me saying this. If we can win games while we're learning how to win games.
I remember.
You are so far ahead of the curve in this league because that's when you go from maybe 8-9 wins to 12 and 13 win seasons. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win 12 or 13 games this year, but we are no longer anybody's homecoming game. We are no longer the game that you're giving tickets away because you don't want to go and watch a blowout. We're going to become the team that, holy shit, I want to go see Sauce Gardner. I want to see Garrett Wilson, Elijah Vera Tucker, Breece Hall, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Zach Wilson. I want to see this offense. I want to see this defense. Their coach is beloved by us, by our players, and guess what? By the entire fucking NFL. Now, I don't want to look too far ahead, but I am going to throw this nugget out there so in the offseason, when March hits, we can go back and say, I said it. We win 9, 10, 11 games, we might be a top 3 spot for free agents who want to come here.
Okay. So
you play in New York, you got a good coach, you got young talent. This is the offseason that you go all in and get that big piece or two, and you put your team over the top, and you go with that Super Bowl run mentality with the quarterback on the rookie contract. Yes, I said Super Bowl, because if you go get a big playmaking safety, you go get a huge linebacker, not in terms of size, I'm just talking about name, and you go get one more lineman, why can't we go for a run if everybody keeps progressing the way we have already through 5 games? I love it. I absolutely love where we're at and where we're going. And this is the offseason that people will finally see. Now the Jets are all in. The moves that Mike McCagnon made out of desperation will be the smart moves Joe Douglas makes to put us over the top and to be a perennial playoff team. Yes, I think we're there. And I'm not even a third of a beer in. So this is not alcohol talking. This is Jet fan excitement talking, because our core is young and elite. And all these guys on rookie contracts, you have to capitalize, because eventually you're going to have to start paying these dudes huge contracts.
You know, it's interesting. I decided this week to go onto the Green Bay Packers website because I want to see. Am I echoing, by the way?
No, I don't hear anything. If anybody in the
just want to make sure.
Chat hears
I thought I was hearing myself.
Feedback, please.
Yeah, I can fix it if need be. But I wanted to go. They do these live chats pretty much every other day with the Packers beat writers and the Packers fans, and I wanted to get a feel for exactly with Braden run stuffing defensive tackle. I had the same thought in mind. But they talk about where the Packers are. They talk about the opponent. And I was fascinated to see what they would say about the Jets.
Knob is saying slight echo. So
let me try. All right, I'm going to try one thing. It's going to be about 10 seconds here.
In reality, the real Jets not playing with Zach are 2-0. Flacco was too immobile to ever play again. Against Pittsburgh, they would have about 15 sacks on Flacco. Yeah. Zach only got sacked once, Sergeant Mike, and he avoided 14.
All right, let's try now. I think that's
Knob, give me some feedback because I wasn't hearing anything. Braden
said there was an echo too. I'm not hearing myself now, so I think I'm good. Okay, I'm gonna with what I believe I was saying. Okay, so they were half the Packers fans were talking about this could be a potentially dangerous opponent, and the other half were talking about this has to be a get right game for us. You know, so the Jets do not have
both,
that.
Right? It could be both. It's a dangerous opponent.
Those who know, no. Those who know, they know. But the lazy fans, they just look at the name of the team. They look at the logo on the helmet, and that's it, regardless of players. And you can tell who the smart fans are versus who the ignorant fans are just by looking at that. But you know what?
You should have added to that.
What was that?
You should have added this to the chat. Hey, guess what, Packer fans? You're one of the few teams that the Jets have an all-time winning record against. We're 8-5 all-time against the Packers.
Yep, accurate. I was watching these. I wasn't there live. I mean, some of us gotta work, but
okay.
I went back and watched them in retrospect.
Gotcha.
Even when they asked them about the Jets' offensive line, they said, "Hey, can we get a pass rush on Zach Wilson?" They said, "Well, we don't." And these are the Packers beat writers. They go, "Well, we don't know a whole lot about the Jets' offensive line except they signed Dwayne Brown and he was injured for a while, and they gave a lot of money to Laken Tomlinson." Not one mention of Elijah Vera Tucker. Not one. And that floored me. When you talk Jets offensive line, that should be the first name that you talk about. And if you don't, then you're not doing your research.
It's laziness. It's pure laziness. If you don't know, especially Good Morning Football, giving him the love. A lot of Jet love on Good Morning Football. Now, I know they're based in New York, and I know they all live in the area. Obviously, they do New York shows every morning, so they got to know the temperature of the room where they live, right? And whenever you're the biggest market in the country and you do media, you want the New York market to be good. It's cool when Green Bay is good. It's cool if Tampa Bay is good. You want New York being good. You want New York media. You want that if you're in the media business. And the fact that they're giving Elijah Vera Tucker love, they're giving Breece Hall love. They gave Quinnen Williams the angry runs win of the week for slamming Tyreek Hill. And it sucks that we might lose Quinnen Williams and we're not going to be able to extend him because he's going to jail for murder, what he did to Tyreek Hill the other day. As much as we want to give Quinnen an extension, he might be in cuffs because he did red rum.
Oh boy! Oh, Sergeant Mike wants to give us some trivia. Okay,
right.
Sergeant Mike,
right,
we see what you're doing.
Can you guys name
undefeated starting quarterback? Well, Zach's obviously one of them. Bailey Zappi,
Hurts,
Zappi,
Cooper Rush.
Zappi won when he started, but when he came in, they lost.
Zappi's the fourth.
Zappi's fourth. There you go.
Yeah. Even Teddy Bridgewater, who played one snap, gets credit for the loss because he started the game.
Correct.
So it's Zappi, Hurts, Wilson, and Cooper Rush. That would be the four, Sergeant Mike. I think we got it.
I think we did too.
Jets match. The answer's Lee Quebec.
They even tried. Indiana Jets fan. His name is Jason. He said, "Hey, Adam. Yesterday, I got a trivia question for you. I'm going to send it privately." And he goes, "Who are the only two Jets who had 4 sacks in a single game?" I'm like, "I'm going to take a wild shot. It's Mark Assino and John Abraham." He's like, "Man, you're too good at this." I'm like, it's not like it was some random schlub. It's like it was Aaron Maven or somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to put a comment up there, and then the race is on. Sergeant Mike says, very quick.
That's what she said.
It's not the first time we've heard those words, Sergeant Mike.
And that's only a third of the beer in.
That was good. Yeah, but it's a new day, man. It's a fun time to be a Jet fan because we've all been dragged through the ringer by coworkers, by friends, by family, by girlfriends, by spouses, by kids. You know, go to
random strangers on the internet.
Yeah.
By random people at like the grocery store.
Yeah. You know, for the last several years, my go-to line was people would say, "Oh, you're still wearing that Jet stuff?" I'd be like, "Listen, man, I'm 40-something years old. I'm too old to get a new wardrobe. I got to stick with this stuff. I get it for Christmas, Father's Days, birthdays." I go, I can't afford a new wardrobe at this rate, man. I got to go with what I have.
No. There's some things you could change in life, but you can't change your team. Once you pass, like, I don't know what the age is, but once you're like 15, 16, you can't change anymore. I think the only way you could even consider doing it is if they move like halfway across the country. And even then, it's not easy to do that.
If your team relocates, you have the grounds to pick a new team. That's the only.
That's it.
That's the only clause that I have ever, because there was rumors before the new stadium being built that if the Jets didn't get the West Side Stadium, they were going to look to relocate. That was like their big bargaining chip towards New York City to rebuttal Dolan, who was trying to stop it. That, all right, if you don't give us a stadium, we might look to relocate.
Did they have cities in mind where they would go? Hey, Thomas. Do you remember any cities?
I don't remember. I don't remember. This is going back to 04, 05, before like the
Yeah.
plans came through and the construction started. It was a long time ago.
I could have sworn San
Oh,
Antonio
Thomas,
might have been.
I appreciate that, man. Very nice. He says
Wow.
we're the
Thank
best
you.
two Jets commentators.
Thank you.
So, and please add to the commentary what you were drinking or what drugs you were consuming, because those are fantastic.
And Thomas, if anybody's holding you hostage, that's forcing you to say that.
Yes. Thomas, just type the eyeballs that, type eyes, and then we'll know someone's watching you. They weren't going to move to Birmingham.
All right. They weren't going to move to Birmingham. No, I don't think it would Birmingham, but I thought maybe like San Antonio might have been mentioned at the time. I don't think Nashville was, or any place like that. Well, the Titans were there by then, but St. Louis. I think the Rams were in St. Louis. Well, hey, it's all water under the bridge.
Yeah, or 2004, LA didn't have a team. I think LA
Correct.
was like round 2.
I don't think they were moving to LA.
Still in San Diego.
Yeah, I don't think they were going to LA. I don't think that was a thought because I think LA just pulled out. Yeah, they just left. Not that long ago.
LA pulled out.
Very good. There you go.
Thomas,
the Birmingham
has a gun to my head. During early part of the summer, man, the way my schedule was, I was able to sit here every night and watch everyone's show. And now my work hours are crazy. Like I usually don't get home until 10:30, and I came home last Friday night. I didn't even turn a light on. I just walked straight to the bedroom, took everything off, took the contacts out, and went to bed immediately. How like draining the days are.
And the sad part is now I can visualize what the walk looked like.
Yeah, there you go.
London seems like the type of stuff that Woody would pull. You know what? It would have been interesting. Because put it this way, if there was to be like a London division or an England division of the NFL, which we've heard rumors about, they would try to get the Jets there first. It'd be the Jets, the Jaguars, and you pick 2 other teams.
Yeah. You'd probably have
I would have said the Rams up until they moved to LA because that St. Louis stadium was just
stadium though. They're not them in the Chargers.
Not now. I don't know. Maybe the Texans are
Miami because they don't sell out their games.
Yeah, but you got to look at the market size. It's just tough to do that. Maybe the Panthers. I don't know about Charlotte. I don't know.
What's up, Anthony? Welcome, brother. If I understand already, optimistically cynical. Casper, the friendly ghost, died this morning in his Bel Air home, was found unresponsive shortly after the authorities arrived.
I get the feeling that's the first. Okay.
Police are saying,
"Oh gosh,
the
transparent suicide."
All right, hook, line, and sinker. You got me. We bit.
Yeah. I actually have a friend who's in the hospital right now. I want to mention he was rushed to the hospital after he swallowed $1,000 in small bills. No changes expected.
What happened here? We just took a wild turn.
It's Friday night. There's no rules.
Yeah, there's no rules. But welcome, optimistically cynical. If you're new here, throw me a sub, and you can come back, and you can bring us some more vino. I don't know, but
hey, Vino. Yeah, Gunny's on date night right now.
But I'm pumped. Yeah, I saw. No rules, never, man. Anything goes here.
Not tonight.
Anything and everything goes. Hey,
Snowball. Good to see you,
What's up, man? Now we're starting to get some numbers popping in. Now we got the regulars coming out. So when you look ahead to the Packers,
all right.
We talked about this when the schedule first came out, and you and I were the 2 most irate and disrespected about this. They had the option to take their bye after the London trip or know who their opponent is and decide. And they said, we'd rather play the Jets than have our bye week after the London trip and have a bye week later in the year. Almost everybody takes the bye after the London trip. So you're telling me you can fly that distance, you can deal with the jet lag, and now you're going to get jetted up because now you're going to get beat by us. Because if you don't think Robert Salah and staff are telling these players they'd rather play you than have the bye week after that trip. You and me lost our fucking minds talking about this. I remember Jeremy was just like, hands up, and you and me went ballistic, like back and forth for about 15 minutes. And here we are.
To quote a certain basketball player, I think I took that personally.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I took it because think shorter time to prepare plus jet lag. It's basically saying we don't need to prepare for the Jets like we would need to prepare for other teams in the NFL. And we actually brought this up again on Wednesday's show. We talked about that the Packers, the way that they're playing right now and the way that the Jets are playing right now, the Packers may end up ruining the day that they made that decision to see the Jets on this particular week.
You're 100% right. And this is the perfect time of the show here. For those that do not follow me on Facebook, your loss. But I'm going to show you the powers that I have here. And it's the helmet hat. It's a winter hat that I got. It's the Red Grange 1920s winter hat. And I wore this during the entire game on Sunday. And it will be worn again for the entire game this Sunday. This hat rarely gets brought out. As you can see, it's my head in this hat looks like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. I get it. I've heard all the jokes. But I broke it out last week. We broke the, 18? It's 140. How many division games did we lose in a row? It was 12 or 18, right? It was because we beat Bills.
Bills in 8. I think it was the Bills in the end of 19.
They had nothing to play for, and we beat them.
It was at least a dozen. I think it was 12 games. I think it was 12 in a row. Maybe 18, but it was at least 12.
I want to get this comment on this. Now, I said this earlier. I don't know if you were here yet. Coming off of a loss, the Packers averaged 30 rushes a game. They go back to ground and pound and set up the play action, and they're more opportunistic. How much, as Jets fans, would we absolutely love watching a shootout between Wilson and Rodgers, with Wilson out-dueling Rodgers? Now, listen, they're going to run the ball a lot. We're going to run the ball a lot. What if, like, the last 4 drives, 2 each, comes down to we got to score, they got to score. We got to score, we got to stop them. And Sauce gets it. And it's Wilson, Moore, Sauce, Lawson on the pass rush. The main guys of this team just sealing the win in those last 2 drives. I mean, I think Hall and Carter are going to be the main cogs in the engine this week for us. But part of me wants Zach to outduel Rodgers in Lambeau with, this is going to shock people if you don't know this already, Fox is putting their number 1 announced team on this game. This game will be the Fox doubleheader for the majority of the country. So most of the country is going to get to see what the New York Jets have become. Let's do it. Let's have a fucking coming out party, man. Let's fucking shock the football world. Let's do the Lambeau leap. Let's fucking make snow angels if the weather's supposed to be that bad. Let's have a fucking blast. And then let's all run around doing the jet that they did in New England after we beat them up there in the playoff game. Let's fucking do it. I'm giving myself goosebumps right now, man. That should be the fucking hype video in the locker room Sunday morning.
It must be something inside the helmet hat that just lets you to another level.
I'm gonna take this off. I won't go to bed. I got work tomorrow early. So.
Activate beast mode.
All right, back to normal, mate. I feel like Will Ferrell in Old School after he debates. Oh, what happened?
What happened there?
I take the hat off. I blacked out. What happened?
Yeah, I got to mention Vino. Vino made a comment. Jones concerns me after a guy like Mostert put up 100 plus. You got to remember the focus of that game was taking away the wide receivers, taking away the pass targets. I still think the Jets defense was willing to let the Dolphins run game get a few yards per carry, but not let them break it. The idea was to take away Hill and Waddle, and they did that. Hill and Waddle did not have explosive plays in that game. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried about. They shut down Joe Mixon. They shut down Najee Harris. They were able to do that. Aaron Jones is a weapon that I don't think has been used enough. He's averaging 6.4 yards per carry. The guy is good. AJ Dillon, I know he's a power back. The guy's averaging 3 yards per run, and I can tell you, I can tell you for certain reasons, Dillon has not been that great this year.
I
Don't ask me how.
Dillon for 5 minutes this offseason.
Oh, how'd that go?
A buddy of mine, a friend of a friend, ended up here. We all went to a pool hall, and then he ended up back here. And Dillon was in Edison doing the Raritan Center signing. And he's like, AJ, he's like my best friend. He goes, I grew up with him. We went to school together. I'm like, bullshit. He's like, bullshit. I'm like, oh shit, what's up, dude? And I literally FaceTimed him for 5 minutes.
Wow. Not bad.
To answer Braden, yes, because there was outrage from Packers fans that they didn't have the bye after the London trip. And the story came out that they were given the option to play the Jets or have the bye. And they chose to play the Jets. 100% true, brother.
Yep. On my game preview video, I've already titled. Yep, I called it the LaFleur Bowl. I absolutely did. I already did it. Yep, no doubt.
Thomas Cahill.
Do you think this could be the week? And Sergeant Mike referenced this. Zach has still never thrown 3 touchdowns in a game or hit 300 yards in a game. Do you think this is the week that he could do one or both? Poardi, yeah. Hey, Tigo.
Yo, you want to hop in? Let me know if you're still here. If you want to hop in, let me know.
Yeah, maybe you can give us an update on Max Mitchell's recovery.
I will say this. Sergeant Mike probably watched or listened to Rich Samini's Flight Deck podcast because that's where I heard that this week too.
On Flight Deck.
Spear Magic Helmet. Yeah. Let me catch up in the chat. I got a little excited there with the helmet on. That's a Harley hat. Tigo says, I doubt they run that much. They suck through the air. Matt has yet to give up on the run.
Matt has yet to get they suck through the
air. Yeah, but coming off of a loss under Matt LaFleur, they averaged 30 carries a game.
And again, when they only ran a third of the ball a third of the time last week in a game that they were up for the most for almost the entire game, I don't know. If they don't come out running the ball heavily against the Jets, I mean, I got to really question Matt LaFleur and the whole coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, when you had the lead too, you want them running the ball. You want them eating up the clock when they were from behind. I mean, thankfully, when they got to 19-17, we turned on the Jets, pun intended, and ended the game. But yeah, they were eating up the clock, which kind of helped us, right?
Oh, most definitely.
A lot of running on both sides.
It should be. Yeah, I mean, the Packers' run defense, they haven't been too hot either. They're allowing 5 yards per rush. So, yeah, their run defense has been nothing to write home about this season either. Here's the thing with the Packers. I feel like in this kind of a game, what's getting all the attention is Aaron Rodgers against the Jets pass rush and the Jets quarterbacks. That's what's going to get the attention. Well, that's only going to be half the game. So the thing with the Packers defense that I've noticed is that they blitz a lot. They've got a couple of really good pass rushers, although Rashawn Gary sounds like he's questionable for the game with turf toe. And we wish him all the best in his recovery after Sunday. And, but they really rely on those linebackers, on Gary rushing the passer, Quay Walker with his speed. Devondre Campbell has not been as good this season. He's been missing tackles. But
Yeah.
where here's where they've really dropped off: defending the deep pass and defending crossing routes. Okay, last year Green Bay was the second-rated defense in the league against the deep pass. This year, 31, and that's without changing any of the personnel. They have the exact same players, the exact same coaches, and they have dropped 29 spots in the league with defending the deep pass. So you know what? I would like to see a couple of play action bombs. I want to see early in the game. I hope we get the ball first. I want to jump on this team, create doubt in the minds of the coaches, in the minds of the players, and definitely in the minds of the fans. Because if the Jets can get up early, what just happened? If the Jets can get up early, yeah, they could take this crowd right out of the game. So this is a spot where I want to see the Jets be aggressive from the beginning of the game on offense.
Yeah, that's the goal, right? You wanna jump out like we did against Miami, and you wanna get them bitching at one another. You want to turn the veteran team into the inexperienced, bitching, finger pointing, arguing. Excuse me.
Yeah, you know, I want to see those Fox cameras. Yeah, let's see those Fox cameras as Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson are talking. They go down to Aaron Andrews, whoever, for the sideline report, and you just see a big hunk of cheddar cheese on somebody's head with a face like, I want to see close-ups like that of all the green and gold. He's got like a bratwurst in one hand, a Miller Lite in the other hand, and he's too depressed to drink. That's the look I want to be seeing by the third quarter of this game.
Dude, we're a different team, man. We're going to be the team making people stress instead of the team and fan base stressing.
These ain't your Big Brothers Jets anymore, guys. Now let's go out and prove hey, let's see the Jets go out there and prove us right.
Why can't we? And I'm going to keep saying it, man. Why can't we run October? Why can't we run October? Who are we outmatched against?
Even against, I mean, if you look at Buffalo, I mean, we can talk about Buffalo down the road, but yeah,
I don't want to go
there.
Why can't we run October?
One at a time. You know what?
Denver Patriots. Not a single fucking team I look at and say, we're not better than them. There's not one. We're better than all three of them. We are better than the Green Bay Packers. We are better than the Denver Broncos. We are better than the New England Patriots. Whether we play that way on Sunday is to be determined. But
do you have that level of trust in the coaches? Go ahead. Now, I was going to say, we're talking about the talent on the field, and I agree with you. We have that young, explosive talent on both sides of the ball. But do you trust these coaches to go against these other coaches, particularly against the Belichick, against McDermott? Do you think Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, and Mike LaFleur are also ready for prime time with these players?
I think you're starting to see the coaches learning their players, right?
Yes.
Breece Hall had a huge game. First couple weeks, he showed signs, but there were several runs in a row, and we had that Breece Hall run drive, that one where he was getting 8, 9, 12 like in a row. You know who he reminded me of? Le'Veon Bell. He got the ball. He was patient. He saw the hole. Even if he had to cut back to get to the hole, he was learning how to run this scheme. He was doing that, put your foot in the ground, cut, and go, which means what? He's getting comfortable in the scheme. He's getting comfortable in the play calls they're calling for him. He's getting chemistry with the offensive line. They're fucking gelling. It doesn't get worse from there. This is just the beginning. Like, all right, let's play this game. Give me Breece Hall's stat line for Sunday.
Okay. I'm trying to think about how to divide the plays up between him and Carter. I would say 13 carries.
What's up, John?
13 carries, set 80 yards, 1 touchdown. That's just running. I think receiving, he'll get a few plays out of the backfield as well. But I think you're going to see a pretty good distribution here. I got a feeling that we're going to be going after. I think they're going to try to give this game to Zach as much as they can, a little bit more. I know they want to run the ball, but I think they want to give Zach, they want to push him a little bit more forward this week. And I think this is a good time to do it. So
I'm going to go with my two favorite rookies, number 1 and number 20. 120 rushing yards, and our quarterback 2 touchdowns for Hall. Packers are 30th against the run. As much as we want to see Zach go off, I think you're going to see a shit ton of Hall. I think you're going to see 20 carries for 120 yards. He's going to break one. He's going to have that breakaway touchdown, and he's not getting caught at the one this time. He's going to be a workhorse this Sunday. 20 for 120 with 2 touchdowns. That's my call.
Okay, where do I sign up? Where do I sign up for that?
Just nod your head, and then when after it happens and we cut the video, you're in it, and just give me one of these, and you're good. You feel all right?
I've been a little bit tighter to jump on the Brees bandwagon a little bit more, but I definitely saw the Le'Veon Bell comparison for sure. That I think was the main comparison that I was making too. I never saw Jonathan Taylor. A lot of people were mentioning Jonathan Taylor. I didn't see that. I saw the patience of Le'Veon Bell, and I said, okay, if the offensive line can block for him, he will be excellent. But that's a big.
I saw the other day,
and now they're starting to do that. Go ahead.
I sent this to you in the Twitter message.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Marshall Faulk. His catching ability, his run after the catch ability, his shiftiness, his way to cut. If you go back and watch Marshall Faulk with the Rams in the beginning, and he's catching 90 passes or more out of the backfield, and he's slashing people in the run game, he was a lot of one cut and go. Or if I got you in the open field, I'm going to dog you. And even if you were running me out of bounds, I was still going to dog you before you got me out of bounds. And that's what I saw a lot of last week. That one drive when we were going from left to right, I think Zach ended up running it in on that. Or I forget what drive that was. But Hall was getting like those 4 or 5 carries in a row. That was the drive he really stacked up. Excuse me. I've had flashbacks of watching Marshall Faulk play.
It's like every time that he was running the ball when he was taking it outside. And it's interesting. That's where his best runs tend to be when he's running. Okay. When he's running outside the tackle. That seems to be the spot. That's his sweet spot. And every time I'm just like, turn the corner, Brees. Brees, just turn the corner. Turn the corner, Brees. Because if he turns that corner, if he doesn't have to go out of bounds, he's getting another 5 to 10 yards for sure, if not more. So as this offensive line continues to get more continuity, it can make it that much better for Brees Hall and for Michael Carter. And you know what? If Carter winds up being our goal line back, our third down back, I will take that, because I'll tell you what, I'm not going to forget Michael Carter. I feel like we got like the Michael Carter Appreciation Society going on. And we just refuse to let him ever be forgotten.
They're a great 1-2 punch. Like our cornerbacks are a great 1-2 tandem, and so are our running backs. And you're seeing the evolution of starting Carter or having plays with Carter and Hall in the backfield next to Zach. We saw the lead with them blocking. We saw that in the Pittsburgh game. We saw it in Cleveland or Cincinnati a little bit with so Carter being the lead blocker. And now you're seeing the wrinkles being added to it, where you're faking it, and Hall looks like he's the run blocker, and they forget about him, and now you hit the pass to him, and he takes it 79.5 yards. And if you go back and watch that play, I am still fascinated by the fact that Braxton Berrios did not get called for holding as he's pulling the jersey to try to get the guy off of Hall. And I'm like, let him go, you idiot. Let him go. Like, I'm screaming at Berrios, because if you watch that, Berrios takes 2 hands of the jersey, pulls him off. It could have backfired on us there.
Here's the bottom line. Our offensive line killed it. We only allowed 2 pass pressures by Miami last week. 2! We were allowing 2 on a single series earlier on in the year. if they could keep that sort of thing up, I mean, the potential for this offense could be limitless. But to me, it comes down to this offensive line. Are they in the right spots? Do they have the continuity that they need? And is this and hey, Dwayne Brown was listed as questionable. Now, as far as we know, are we expecting Dwayne Brown to play on Sunday? I know he was listed as questionable today. So
Yeah, it's usually doubtful that you're out. Questionable
right.
is
Yeah, we know
normal.
JJ's out. So yeah, hopefully this will
He's
stay the
probably
way
gonna
it
be
is.
questionable every week because he's playing with that torn muscle.
Rotator cuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he's probably going to have to. I mean, because you are playing with a torn muscle, you are going to be on the injury report as questionable every week because
Veterans rest. Yeah, veterans rest every
and you
Wednesday.
have to do that. That's part of the compliance with the injury report. That if a guy has any injury, you have to list him as questionable or doubtful or out. So he has an injury.
And I got to tell you, Nate Herbig, just the latest steal that Joe Douglas found, just another diamond in the rough. I mean, he plays with some attitude, he plays with some nasty, and he's only 25 years old. This isn't like some 32 or 33-year-old veteran that they picked up
Yeah.
from the old Super Bowl team. No. This is a young guy that they took, and thank God they did, because all of a sudden we're finding out that AVT might be as adept at tackle as he is at guard. And you know what? If that winds up being the right side of your offensive line for the next 5 years, oh my gosh, that would be freaking unbelievable. Especially when you got one on waivers.
Why can't it be AVT, Tomlinson? Maybe you go draft the center. You got Herbig and Mitchell.
If that's what it comes to, that's great. But you know what? Mitchell has to work his way back in. At this point,
I think he showed early on that he wasn't drowning in the deep end, right? He showed. What's up, Jamel?
Hey,
I just got to say something because he does this to me on the IOW show. I just want to say, fuck Mel. That's my boy. We got a love-hate relationship, but we get along well.
He loves you and you hate him, or is it the other way around?
I think we hate each other equally and love each other equally. We each have our moments.
Perfect.
But nah, he's a good dude. Thanks for joining, brother. Hope everything's well.
I mean, Max Mitchell wasn't drowning, but he wasn't necessarily swimming down the lane of the pool. I felt he was kind of treading water. He would have his good moments, but he had his rough moments, which you had to expect.
Fourth round rookie, man, he was holding his own. He was doing very good, and he could only get better.
Yep, but I got to say, the offensive line has looked better since he's been out. That's all I'm saying. They've shown better chemistry in the last 2 weeks since he left. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to be a very good right tackle. He very well could. I'm just saying for this year, the offensive line has been better with him out and Herbig in.
Okay. I'm just long term. If we're gonna,
Tigo. Yeah, long term, I'm fine with that. Tigo, I apologize. I don't mean to knock your boy.
I know Tigo said 25 minutes. I don't know how much more I got in me. I might have to maybe like 10:45. I got to be in bed by 11, man.
Oh, okay.
With having to get up tomorrow.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll be getting up early to do deliveries too. I got to be up at 6 a.m. because that's when all the deliveries start to come through. All one of them per hour. It feels like sometimes. What's the deal on Quincy? It sounds like he's playing this week, man. It's crazy. I mean, when he went out, it looked like a season ender. Yeah, he's got like He's got John Cena healing powers, man.
They put the ice cast. They blow up right away to stabilize it. I thought it was a snapped ankle or an Achilles or something.
Oh, I figured high ankle if we were lucky. I figured that was the best case scenario when he was out.
What was that? That was in the Cincinnati game?
That was in Cincinnati. That sounds right.
2 games? That was incredible to come back in 3 weeks.
And I got to tell you, Quan's been amazing. Quan's been so good.
I love Quan. But I do believe, we're going to have more 3 linebacker sets in this game. And I think you got to find ways to get that in. If they're going to go running the ball, you got to load up the linebackers. And I want to see some more run blitzes. I want to see some more, let's hit them in the backfield instead of 3-4 yards downfield. Let's not let them nickel and dime us down the field. Let's be the aggressor. Get a lead, and you can call the game differently, right? Because now you're not afraid of going down by 2 scores. Get the goddamn lead, and now you can coach and play differently. Yeah, you're right, Randall. You're 100% right, man.
Wrapping up those tackles is going to be so key, and especially coming from the safeties and CJ Mosley. When you get your hands on Aaron Jones, you have to take him down and take him down on that first point of contact. We can't have him breaking out runs 20, 30 yards.
Both of them, Jones and Dillon, are both.
Especially Jones, yeah.
Jones is shiftier, and Dillon is more run through you, right?
He is, but you know what? Dillon, I don't think has had much of a year. It's not like they use him on the goal line or anything like that. He'll get his 3 yards a run, but I got to be honest, I'm not really scared of AJ Dillon. I expected more from him this year. I really did. Oh, and something else the Jets have been doing. We talked about the coaches getting to know their players. The way that they have changed the snap counts for this defensive line, I'm really glad that they've been doing that, and that may be a credit to Saleh, to Ulbrich, both. But the fact that in the last game, Quinnen got 70% of the snaps, Carl Lawson got 73, JFM got 66. But then you look at Jacob Martin, 16%, Nathan Shepard, 22, Solomon Thomas, 28. They are starting to figure out what players are making the most difference, and they realize this even line social return, this rotation, it was not working. You can give everybody their chance, but at the end of the day, you have to know who your best players are, because those are the ones who are going to have the best chance to make an impact play for you. And
Correct.
We saw that with the strip sack, the fumble recovery. We saw it time and time again. JFM hitting the arm, which led to the Sauce interception. All those things. So we're starting to figure that out too, and that gets me excited. Now with JJ out this week, what's that going to mean? Does that mean more Bryce Huff?
I want to see more Huff.
I want more Huff too, but it's going to be more Jacob Martin.
Sprinkle a little bit more for Martin, but if you're taking JJ's place, interesting stat for you. Do you know that our run defense is actually worse with JJ on the field than with him on?
It doesn't seem possible because he has such a high individual
run. Before the Miami game. This was before the Miami game. Going into that game, I heard the stat. I don't know if it changed last week. We were giving up 3.9 yards a rush with JJ on the field and 3.1 with him off. Coincidence on play call scheme. We know JJ plays the run well. It may be runs going the other way. It could be one of those skewed stats. But if it's going JJ's way, he's played the run well. There was one play, he darted inside and got caught, and they tossed it to the outside. I think it was I want to say Cleveland, because I was watching it at the kids' house, and that's the only game I've watched there. So I think that was the game, because that's where I was when I saw it, and I was yelling at him because he got caught on the inside. He got sealed.
That is a surprising stat. I would not have believed that.
But I don't know if it changed. Like I said, it could be the stat could be skewed. It could be getting gashed up the middle, right, for a 30-yard run, and now all of a sudden he had nothing to do with it because they didn't run at him.
Yeah, I mean, so often it was just those runs up the middle. They're not runs outside that seem to hurt the Jets. It's runs up the middle. And I don't think you can put that on JJ. So.
Well, it's going to be no matter what. Tom, I agree. I am 100% on the Quan bandwagon. I want Quan.
I can't wait.
Taking Mosley off the field, and he could stop playing 100% of the snaps and have Quan and Quincy out there a little bit. I know they're not going to do that. I know this coaching staff loves CJ, but I got no issue changing it up a little bit and letting Quan and Quincy be out there for coverage instead of Mosley.
I can't wait for that first Quan hit on AJ Dillon or on Aaron Jones on Sunday. The pop that's going to create. Oh, it's going to radiate right through your TV screen.
Even if they go tight end on a pass at the tight end, he catches it, turns upfield, and there's Quan to just jog.
Yeah, he's still on a pitch count, Robert Tonyan. He's not on a snap count coming back from that ACL. And so is Bakatari, their left tackle. He didn't play the whole game against the Giants. They rotate their left tackle. Can you believe that? I mean, we've joked about maybe the Jets
Carl
should
Lawson.
rotate their offensive line.
Carl
Well, you know
Lawson.
what? Carl Lawson. So, hey, the Packers are
You
already
might need
doing
that.
it.
You might need multiple guys. The way Carl is bull rushing through people and getting underneath, the leverage he's getting is very, very impressive.
Oh, I mean, his pass rushes are up there with Nick Bosa's the only one.
When they place an order, extra bodies and tissues, and you know the crybaby Mac Jones is getting a start. Hey, we both know that Belichick is not the coach who's going to say that's his job. If he likes what Zappy's doing, we all know Zappy's going to play. Belichick does not give a shit. He put $100 million quarterback before the first $100 million quarterback on the bench for Tom Brady. So we know that Belichick has no loyalties to anybody but himself. Yeah, Quan has changed the attitude and the energy on the defense. They don't run at him. Oh, JJ, they don't run him. Lawson's been bad in the run, and JJ has been good. They just avoid him. Agree. That's why I said I thought it was a skewed stat, but I did hear it, and I wanted to bring it up, and I haven't been on. CJ kills us in coverage. I agree. He gets targeted. What happened to Sherwood? He's not even the first off the bench.
He just plays special teams, man.
Yeah,
he's the special
that's
teamer
his
right
role.
now. They love Mosley, so
if Nasruddin and Sherwood were any good, Quan wouldn't have gotten signed. That's just the truth of it. If they believe these guys could be starters in the NFL, we would have never signed Quan. That tells you everything, that these are just athletic guys who are going to be special teamers on this team. Maybe catch a role down the future, but right now their role is special teams. And there's nothing wrong with it. You need those guys on your team in the NFL.
Our special teams are among the best in the league. Our special teams DVOA is number 2 in the league. And that's because of guys like Justin Hardy, Jamian Sherwood. Now Nasruddin's getting a little bit of playing time. Yeah, I mean, Tony Adams, our special teams have been amazing. Zerline's been kicking lights out since week 1. Braden Mann gets better by the week. I mean, it's almost like Mike Westhoff came back and started coaching special teams again. It's so good. Do we send Sauce at Rodgers? That's not something you do every week. I wouldn't mind. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind necessarily a safety blitz. I might send Whitehead at Rodgers one time just to give him a little bit of a different look. And I think Whitehead could create a little bit of a racket against Rodgers. So maybe I go with a safety blitz.
Somebody talked about, or not in the show or the chat here, about possible snow in Green Bay. It says 49 for Sunday.
If it's in the 40s, it ain't snowing in Green Bay.
No. It's too windy for me. What's up, Chris? Welcome, buddy. How are you?
Good to see you, Chris.
Radigan.
Speaking of Wisconsin, there he is down in Kenosha. Yeah, Sunday for Green Bay, 48 degrees and cloudy. There might be a little bit of snow, a little precipitation Monday, but no, it's only 15% chance of anything on Sunday. So just go with cloudy and pretty cool outside.
Tigo, I'm catching up. Excuse me. I'm catching up with the comments. You got to remind me what this comment is too, buddy. Please. I probably got like 10 minutes left. So, Tigo, I don't even know if it's worth coming on. I'm probably going to be signing off in about 10 minutes, man.
All right.
I did want to pop on before. Hey, man, I feel better, brother. I'm not sure what you're going through, man, but, you get all the love in the world from us. So, best to you. Did you guys see how much Mac Jones is crying for? Crying? My God, he was getting like his leg was snapped in half, and they were like, you stubbed your toe. And he's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, he was Mac Jones. Mac was so convincing. He should try out for the U.S. World Cup soccer team. He might have a role on it.
Yeah, that was very Mac Jones-ish. Everything I thought about Mac Jones.
It was verified.
Yeah. I called him a bitch, and he did. What'd you do, Chris? Overcast.
Weather will not be the reason we lose this game if we do lose it. So, yeah.
Hey, man, I think outside the box sometimes. That's what I did when I ran my defense. I'm not a fan of Mosley in coverage or passing downs. I just feel he's out there because he's a leader, and he's not out there because he's the best player for that play call. So sometimes I hit him, I take. Sometimes I miss. I don't expect the Jets coaching staff to do that with how much they praise Mosley since he plays 100% of the snaps. Him, Joyner, Reed, and Sauce are like the only four playing 100%. Second Achilles surgery. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
My
Those
God.
Achilles, those are the toughest things to come back from.
Oh,
Those
man.
are hard.
Well, to everyone in the chat, man, I hope everybody heals up, man. I hope everyone heals up. So let's I'm crashing. I'm falling asleep as we're talking here. Once I took the last of my energy with the hat helmet.
Do you have to plug the helmet in overnight to let it charge back up and give you more energy later?
No, man, that's part of the aura and the powers that it possesses. It does it on its own. So let's
somewhere in the Himalayan mountains, Nick found the helmet hat.
I will throw this to you first, my good friend and my guest, and guys in the chat as well. This is out there for you. Give me your prediction for Sunday.
Oh, I gave my prediction last
night. Hey, yeah. Dark Soldier just showed up as we're closing up.
Hey, crew. Yeah, well, I mean, I gave my prediction last night, and it did go over very well. So I'm not going to say what that was, but I will say this. If the Jets are tied or winning at the end of the first quarter, they will win this game. I think they just cannot fall behind early. The Green Bay is going to try to take us out quickly. We're going to try to get up early. I don't think this is the type of game where the Jets come back after being down like 10 points in the fourth quarter again. I think this is a game that they have to really set the pace and maintain it. I don't know if Green Bay's letting it happen twice in a row, especially in their own building. I'm just not sure that that's going to happen. They can win, but they are going to have to really put 60 minutes together. They really, really do.
If we win this week,
they can win it. They can win it.
This is going to the Hall of Fame.
It's right next to the Mike White jersey. Yes.
That's gone. That was just for the 1 year.
I know. It was seasonal. Oh, and I will mention, for those who haven't heard yet, next Wednesday night when Jeremy and I are doing our show, the Wacky Wednesday show, we have decided to torture ourselves for money because we are basically going to whore ourselves out. For every $25 in Super Chats, Jeremy will take a shot of progressively hotter hot sauce. And also for every $25, I will eat one hot dog. So if you donate $100 total in Super Chats, I will eat 4 hot dogs, 8 hot dogs. I will eat, or $200, I will eat 8 hot dogs. So if you want to see just two knuckleheads completely torture themselves next Wednesday night, tune in to Jets Chaos. It could get scary.
On Thursday. Actually, my birthday is Tuesday.
And, really?
Yeah, they gave me Monday and Tuesday on. Wednesday is Nick's last football game. His Old Bridge High School football team is undefeated. They play on Thursdays, so I've had off every Thursday in September and October. But the team, they play at 4 o'clock at home. And the team said to the coach, hey, we talked about it. We want to play the last game to finish our undefeated season under the lights. They couldn't do it on Thursday because there's a soccer game at 6. But they said, well, we can move the game to Wednesday, and if the opponent can make it, we'll play Wednesday. So I told, as soon as I found out today that the game got moved, I called the boss, and I was like, listen, you've been giving me off Thursdays, and I appreciate it. My son's last game, I explained to him what happened. He goes, I'll put you on as the floater Wednesday, and you'll have a half a route, and I can get you out of here by 4:30. So then I'm off on Thursday. If you want, I'll join. I'll do a shot of I'll get like peanut butter whiskey and I'll do a shot for every 25.
A little screwball? Is that what we're doing? Okay.
I don't do screwball. Screwball's too sweet. I do sheepdog. Or I'll get Terramana.
Okay, Okay, Screwball's the only peanut butter whiskey I've ever seen. But okay, that sounds interesting because it does have a sweet side to it.
Screwball's a $36 bottle, and it's so sweet that it gives me like heartburn and agita with the meds that I'm on. Sheepdog goes down smoother, but I could do.
That's what she said.
Yes. Yes, very good. I think you. Damn it! Now you've out. That's what she said to me. This is the first time ever. The fourth is strong in this one.
That's how we know it's time for you to go to bed.
Rogers can no longer
Adam
avoid
Chestnut, hey,
Jets will be in control. No one's picked the Packers, so I guess your prediction last night was the Packers. I guess
I
that
did
didn't
pick
go
the
over well.
Packers. I did. Yeah.
Was that on Green Bean Show?
Yeah. I hate to have to say it twice.
34-14. Thomas, I assume that's the Jets.
Big
Man,
D. I wonder who that is. Okay. Just in overtime. Okay, that's a pretty bold prediction. I like that. That gets his first. Didn't he have a game-winning drive technically against Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
So that was a game-winning drive. So this will be a second.
He didn't throw the game-winning TD because Hall ran it,
Right.
and when it got knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I went to the grocery store. I was doing the delivery routes, and I saw they had a family pack of Nathan's hot dogs. So I picked up a family pack, 14 hot dogs in the thing.
Nice.
So, yep. And the whole time I'm like, what am I doing right now?
I am going to finish up the show with my prediction.
Okay.
I am going to give my game ball out before the game even gets played. Greg Zuerlein kicks a field goal to tie it at 27, and then as time expires, kicks the game winner, 30-27 Jets as time expires. Greg the Leg gets the W for the Jets and carried off the field Rudy style.
Legatron rules Lambeau.
Yeah, no, it's a game-winning drive for the quarterback, but he didn't throw the game-winning TD. So it is a game-winning drive. Chris, yeah, we're signing off, man. I feel better, buddy.
Feel better, man.
God bless, man. I hope everything is going well for you. I know you got some struggles, but remember, the comeback is always better than the downfall, brother.
Hopefully the worst is behind.
Yeah, that's what she said. We're tied. Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Tigo, I'm sorry you couldn't hop in time, but I got work tomorrow, and I worked 10 hours today, and I'm spent, brother. Maybe what time do you leave Sunday morning?
Sunday morning for the game? Usually about 11:45. So it takes about a half hour to get over to the bar. So yeah, I usually want to there between 12:15, definitely by 12:30. So I'd say between 11:45 and noon is when I leave the house.
All right. We'll text, we'll talk, and maybe if you got time, maybe I'll hop on Sunday morning, like maybe 10 o'clock before we leave here around 11:32.
That'd be great.
So yeah, I'll let you know if I wake up early enough. I'll send the message saying I'm on. But Jets game days, I'm up at like 8:30. I'm up like before the alarm goes off, just like Christmas morning, like a little kid. Especially now that we are in the midst of, I hope everybody watching is sitting down, a winning streak. A winning streak, for those that don't know, is when you win multiple games in a row. I had to Google it. Was unaware myself.
And when was the last time we won 3 straight? I mean, that's been at least 5-6 years, I think.
Maybe the
3 straight.
Maybe 2016, the Fitzpatrick year. Was that 15?
That was 15 for sure. So yeah, we lost 4. Yeah, so it's I have a feeling the closer we get to this game, the more optimistic I'm going to get. I just got that vibe.
I hope so.
I'm just going to feel more and more optimistic about it. It's just maybe there's a part of me that doesn't want to completely. Yeah, that's when we clinch a playoff spot.
I'll have somebody record it. I'll wear this, and that's it. We win the Super Bowl, I will streak. I promise.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, sometimes you almost don't even want to get your expectations too high because you're worried you're going to be disappointed. But you know what? This is the type of ride that you got to enjoy, and you know what? Because you can't only get excited when the team is great. You got to enjoy this right too. You know what, John? I do. I donate. Here's what I do. This is my Sunday. Okay, this is what's become. I donate the blood plasma at 8 a.m. I'm done at 9:30. I got to be there right when the door opens. I go home. I watch church online from 9:30 to 10:30 while I'm making breakfast, and then I do whatever else I got to do to get ready. By 11:30, I'm out the door. That's my Sunday mornings during football season.
Nice.
It's my whole routine.
Hey, John. No, I'll never knock anybody for taking care of that, man. Everybody.
We honestly we have to, because we know we're going to be doing a lot of sinning during the game. I mean, we got to keep it all in balance,
Yeah, John. No, it's say a prayer for all of us, John, when you're there. I'm not a churchgoer, but I certainly don't knock anyone. I got a good relationship, and I talk to God whenever I feel, which is a lot lately. So enjoy your service, man, and you got to throw in an extra 10 this week. If you give $10 week one, you give $10 when we got a 2-game winning streak. We win next week, we win Sunday, you got to give 30 the following week.
It'd be pretty bad. It'd be pretty bad to die, and then I get there and God goes, the Jets would have won a couple Super Bowls if only you stayed faithful to your tithe. That would be sad. Green Bay almost does happy. Oh yeah, we remember. But is Green Bay going to keep playing this way the rest of the season? It's just hard for me to believe that they're going to stay that bad when they have that kind of talent. Here's the thing. The idea of the changes Green Bay needs to make is easy. The question is, will they actually make them? Oh, here's another thing. Green Bay this season has turned the ball over, or they forced 4 turnovers in 5 games. This is not a playmaking defense. They get their sack. Yeah, John, if I can, I donate Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday before work in the morning, and then Sunday.
It's a plasma donation.
Plasma, not red blood.
It's not
red blood. That's the difference. So I get 50. The thing is, I got to keep my protein high. I got to try to eat like 100 grams of protein a day, which is not easy, 1 on your body, and 2 in this economy. I make like a pot of beans every 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. But I get $50 for the first donation, and then if I donate twice during the week, I get another 100. So it's $150 a week. So that's what's up. Yeah.
Oh, Snowball, I was saying it's however long the win streak is. So once we win 2 in a row, it goes up to 20. We win 3 in a row, you give 30 that week. It goes back. We lose a game, not that we ever will. But if we lose a game, then it goes back down to 10.
It goes back down to 10.
It's called progressive. That's how I gamble with blackjack.
I was thinking, I think compound interest is going to come into the picture eventually. All right.
I said Zerline, like an unsung hero. Give me a guy that you could see making an impact. That's not one of the usual suspects.
That's not one of the usual suspects.
And the tattoo, guys. Throw in a name that you think someone like Joyner had the big game, right, against Pitt. I'm predicting Zerline this week.
I will say Bryce Huff, because he's going to get that increased playing time. I think.
I like it.
I think he had last week 4 pressures on 15 snaps. So that's over 25% of the time. I'd say Huff makes himself known to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood this Sunday. It'll be a beautiful day in the neighborhood, my friend. Would you be mine? Would you be mine?
All right, Thomas says Elijah Moore. I like it. It's a good choice. It's a good choice.
It's about time he got a touchdown. Yeah, Elijah didn't have a touchdown yet this year. That's got to change.
We're waiting for that 899 touchdown game. Like, we're waiting for it. Like, once that happens, it's the perfect storm for this offense. Paul's going, Carter's going, Wilson's gone, Davis has been consistent. Shout out to Tyler Conklin, who's been very, very consistent for us. And now you get Elijah Moore added to that.
What about CJ making a big play or 2 in this game?
Ooh.
It just came to me. I think CJ, he might have like 3 catch. I'd say CJ converts a big third down.
All right, give me. All right, so CJ's your offense, and
I'm trying to be like really like off the radar because it's kind of hard to do.
I'm going to say CJ, my friend.
Ruckert and Ty Johnson. I could go there.
Defense. Give me Jonathan Franklin Myers on a strip sack. He hasn't had one yet this year. He hasn't had one since the contract extension. Give me Jonathan Franklin Myers with a strip sack fumble against Rodgers.
Interesting.
That's my defensive guy.
Okay, so you have JFM, and who did you have on offense?
I had Zerline. I don't know if that counts as offense.
Good enough. Yeah, and I had Uzama and Huff. Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to revisit. Okay.
If Zerline has a good game, you win because you never have a good game as a kicker in a loss, right? Like even if you kick 5 field goals and you lose 42-15, no one remembers the 5 field goals. You remember the game winner or the go-ahead kick, right? Like Clemens. Oh, snowball with Clemens. All right, let's get these up here.
I hope Clemens gets it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets that playing time, whether it's Clemens, Huff, Martin, or if they go back to the rotation without JJ. It's going to be very interesting to see who lines up on. I tell you what, though, the vulnerable part of that Packers offensive line is the right side. And I mentioned this on my game preview video, which I'm uploading right now. But Royce Newman gave up 4 pressures last week to the Giants. Elton Jenkins is really more of a guard, but they're using him at right tackle. The right side of that line is vulnerable. So that's why I want to see who's going to play on that right side of the against that offensive line. It's going to be very interesting to watch.
And now give me this.
Okay.
Bold, outlandish prediction. Give me a bold outlet. I'll go first to set the tone so you know what I'm looking for. Okay. Sauce knocks out Aaron Rodgers this week, and Sauce becomes the new QB TKO in the NFL. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like a bold, outlandish prediction. Sauce knocks out another starting quarterback. I'll go further on the first snap of scrimmage for Green Bay.
Okay. You want
and then the score is 50-6. If Jordan,
I'm going to say a linebacker has a turnover for the Jets. Whether it's a fumble recovery, whether it's an interception, I'm going to say one of our linebackers, as opposed to our playmakers in the secondary, has a pretty big moment like that. Whether it might be CJ, might be Quan, and hey, with Quincy coming back, I'm not sure about. I thought about Berrios for a moment, but I'm not quite sure.
He almost had one last week. He took it out the midfield.
Almost,
he's close. He's close, man. They're and like you said earlier, our special teams are very good. It's almost like coaching again.
I'm going to say Berrios does that against New England when they're home in the division game.
I'll be at that. My neighbor,
I'm going to save it.
Who's not a football fan, his boss gave him 2 tickets. He never turns them down when his boss gives them to him. But he saw me the other day, and he goes, I know you're a big Jet fan. He goes, I don't do football at all, so I'll give you the 2 tickets. He goes, I took them, but he goes, I'll give them to you.
Wow.
So me and the kid will be going to that game for free.
Not bad. Free's not bad.
It's the right price. I don't even know where they are. They could be corporate seats. I don't even know. Like they could be really good seats. He's like, I don't even know where they are yet, but I gotta talk to him.
Hey, when the Jets are winning, every seat's a good seat.
Yeah. Dude, my seats from 2000 till 2009 or 2008, I was in the last row of the stadium in section 324. Never sat in the seats once. Never. At one time, I went up there for 30 seconds because my buddy, who I was always down on the aisle in the old stadium, right behind where you came up in the upper deck, like I would squat down there and be like the maniac in that corner of the end zone. And you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Okay. You all right? Sick? You sound like you're a little head congested.
I'm always a little bit. I'm breathing halfway decent tonight.
All right.
It's allergy season, so sometimes I have my good days, I have my bad days, but I'm all right.
So my buddy, who was a New York City cop, still is actually, but he went with me. We called ourselves Mini and Jumbo because I was gigantic, and he's like 5'6", $130 on a good day, soaking wet. And the only time I ever went up to the top row and sit in those seats, they were calling for me because he passed out. And I had to go up to the top row, and I checked on him, like, bro, you good? And he just wakes up. He's like, Jets, motherfucker, what's the score? And everyone's like, we've been trying to get him up for like a half an hour.
That's what she said.
Nice. And they looked at us. They're like, he's told us for years that you're his buddy. And we didn't know you were actually his buddy until you walked up here. Like, we always watch you when you're meeting. He's like, that's my friend. I have tickets with him. He's like, but you two never sit next to one another.
Oh, boy.
A12K. Hey, what's up, Twisted? Welcome, man.
6 on a strip sack this week.
All right.
I don't need to get 6. That truck stick of Tyreek Hill was worth more than him scoring the touchdown to me.
Game ball, Pat Mahomes. When KC beats Buffalo, we go into first place. Will happen on flight home. Yeah, we'll be. Did Buffalo play? Yeah, Buffalo lost to Miami, so we'd have the tiebreaker on division lead because we haven't played one another.
I think there's a scenario. I think Tigo said
the Giants
be the 2 seed. Yeah,
Giants beat the Ravens.
And KC
beats Buffalo. KC's number 1. We're number 2.
Just as
obviously we win on top of it. Mims lines up offside. I think a bold prediction would be Mims getting activated. I don't see it.
I don't think that was happening. I think Lawrence Cager's got a better chance of being activated for this game than Denzel Mims.
206A. Vino, we got to how
about Brandon Eccles makes an appearance and has like a big pass defense or something like that? With these different receivers, this might be a situation where the Jets need to play an extra cornerback or two. I think maybe Brandon Eccles.
Maybe JSM with a tipped pass that Eccles gets and returns. How about that?
I think Eccles is every week. There's just somebody who does something big, and you have no idea that it was going to happen. Usually, it's the player that we're criticizing the week before.
Vino,
a lot of times.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I can just see Eccles doing something pretty big in this game. So,
hey, Vino, if you, excuse me, John Healthy just said it's the lack of plasma. Vino, if we're friends on Instagram or Twitter, whatever, message me your number. I don't know if I have it. I know people have different names, and my memory sucks sometimes now that I'm getting older. But let's connect. I'm at K5, and come by, or I'll meet up with you for the Patriot game, and we'll say hellos. It's long overdue, brother. Oh, here's a good one. Snowball. Both MCs score.
That's pretty bold.
Mike. That's fun at the game and gets arrested. He could, right? No, that's a state crime, or is that a federal crime?
I think it's a state situation in Mississippi, right? Yeah, I don't think that'd be an issue in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Vino, I am on Twitter. I know I changed.
If I'm the Packers, I'm attacking the middle of the field. Why would I even go near Saucer Reed right now? Short passes over the middle of the field, throw passes to the running backs. It's, to me, the idea is not complicated. The question is, can Aaron Rodgers play within the confines of this Matt LaFleur offense where he is playing conservative and not playing hero ball? Yeah. I think a lot of this is about Rodgers' mindset.
I'll give you a bold prediction the other way. If we lose, Jones and Dillon have more than 10 catches combined. That's what's going to get us. The running backs or the running backs doing the little zig over the middle and then beating our linebackers.
I think the Packers are going to have more run plays than they do passing plays in this game. How about that?
Jeremy, I wanted to get off at 11. I got work in the morning. I had a long day. I wanted to be off at 10:45 and in bed at 11, but we just hit a couple topics. I'm actually gonna sign off, and it's not because you're here. I'm not ball busting. Everyone knows I was saying by 10:45. But yeah, it's going to be momentarily. We were just doing like our last little throw out question.
And one prediction turned into about 20.
Yeah. We kind of snowballed there. Like, you know how we get. But yeah, on that note, looking at it, it just turned 11 o'clock. I got to head to bed. I want to thank you, Adam. Thanks for joining me, buddy. I appreciate it. I want to thank everyone in the chat. You guys are fantastic. You know, I say every time I sign off, you guys make this enjoyable for us. You guys make this fun. You guys make this something that we want to do because we want to interact with you guys and involve you guys with our shows. So thank you, everyone. I like all you guys. You're not bad. This is where I would bust Iowan, but he's not here, so I don't want to do it now without him. But
Iowa busted himself in fantasy, and we'll just leave it at that.
Nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will end with my line, which has become. I've been saying this for a long time, and it became a rallying cry. And I've been saying that the Jets stole my line. So enjoy the game Sunday. Everyone who's going through some injuries, feel better. And I will end with my sign off that has become the Jets rallying cry. Be loud, be proud, New York Jets fans. Let's go Jets, everybody. Be good.